Okay, come here.
No, remove the chair.
You are not sitting now, you are standing. You are standing.
Remove the chair completely.
Good morning, my name is Monachi Chooks, OBOA.
You can put it here.
Good morning. I'm Friday Local. I work with Punch newspapers.
IGBOHO, Sun newspaper.
My name is Tim Eloba. I work for Newsband, an online newspaper.
Okay.
Good morning, my name is IGBOHO. I work with Until.
Good morning, the rest of you. I write for Vanguard newspapers.
Good morning, my name is President Ojobi. I write for News.
Okay, thank you very much. We've done the introduction. Others will join us as we progress. I think to set the tone for today's discourse, we may have to go over to Mr. Toyin Dawodu, or is it Barrister Frank, to set the tone. Then the journalists, can now ask questions. So, over to you, Mr. Toyin.
I think Frank was going to make an introduction. Is Frank there?
Okay, Frank.
Of course, yes.
All right, thank you very much. A number of people know. Okay, come and adjust this camera. Let me adjust this camera, please. Can you see me?
Yes.
I think you need to admit Mr. Tijani once. I didn't know that you were. Yes. All right, very good. All right, so a number of you who know me and my advocacy that I've been doing in the last 10 years has been greatly supported by Mr. Tony Daudu, especially in the area of human rights. But today, we have been both working together, engaged in pushing for rights enforcement in Nigeria. We've done quite a number of public interest cases, public interest law advocacy, cases we filed both at the Federal High Court and other areas. Our latest work was the interest that caught Mr. Tony's attention with regards to the plight of University of Lagos students that graduates who were denied their certificates for 2 years, and we took that up, and that was responded to. I personally was in ULAG to that extent, and all of that was at the behest of Mr. Tony. But today, we are gathered because Mr. Tony feels very strongly about an issue, and that has to do with the human rights of Mr. Sunday IGBOHO, also known as Chief Sunday Adeyemo. We have decided to address the press. Mr. Tony is speaking from Riverside, California, and maybe we should get is speaking from Riverside, California, addressing this World Press Conference because of the far-reaching nature that this press conference is supposed to achieve, because it will be followed with some kind of action. So, ladies and gentlemen, or rather gentlemen of the press, I welcome you to the press conference called by Mr. Tony Daudu, the foremost Nigerian-American philanthropist and human rights promoter, who has convened this press conference for the purpose of addressing the issue of the continued detention of Mr. Sunday IGBOHO by the Beninese authorities. Mr. Daudu, over to you, sir.
So good morning. Or it's probably I think you're echoing, Frank. So you might want to turn off one of your mics.
Call that guy, call the guy.
Okay. Okay, did you stop the echo? It's still echoing. Okay. All right. My name is Tony Dawodu. I want to thank everyone that is present, the press. And I want to thank my attorney, Barrister Frank Tietie of Forthright Chambers. Frank and I have done some work together in Nigeria with regards to human rights and making demands on the government to do the right thing for Nigerians. In 2017, we successfully filed a lawsuit against the government and the Nigerian Senate, demanding that President Buhari must return to Nigeria and govern rather than stay in UK on a medical leave. It was shortly after our lawsuit was filed that they rushed President Buhari to Nigeria. Recently, it came to my attention that university students from University of Lagos that graduated in 2019 were not given their certificates after almost 2 years. I contacted Frank and I told him that I was concerned about it and we should do something about it. And we did. We called a press conference, and I think some of you were there in April. We made demands on the government and we gave them 7 days with which to act. And I'm very happy that within the 7 days that we gave them the ultimatum, they did act and announced graduation of these students. And so most of them are now able to go to Youth Service Corps and have ability to obtain jobs. Today, I have been asking Frank for a few weeks, what is the status of Mr. Sunday Igboho? And I've also asked a few people all around both Nigeria and across the diaspora, what is the status? And nobody seemed to know. So I told Frank, maybe we should call the press conference and make demands, not only on the Nigerian government, but on the Benin Republic. And I'm sure the press is going to be asking questions after I read my press statement, which is pretty short. I know it's the press statement is very short, okay? So my question to the world is, where is Mr. Sunday Igboho? Because we heard that he was arrested in Benin Republic. But up till now, we cannot get facts as to his current status. So this press release or this press briefing is specifically a request or a demand that Sunday Igboho will be released unconditionally. So gentlemen of the press, I welcome you to this briefing, which is intended to put pressure on the authorities of the Republic of Benin to unconditionally release Sunday Igboho within 7 days from the release of this statement, or face serious consequences of the nature of an economic embargo that as a country, it may never recover from in a very long time. Whereas I'm an American citizen of Nigerian descent, my heart has always been with the land of my origin, Africa, and particularly Nigeria. I believe strongly in the truth, justice, liberty, hence the reason I've always supported in the past and present causes that promote human rights, justice, and the well-being of all Nigerians. I believe that Mr. Sunday Igboho has not committed any offense by being an agitator for fairness, security for the Yoruba people. There is currently no law that is against a man's call for justice to his people. Therefore, I make this demand on behalf of many Africans in diaspora of Yoruba origin. and all persons who detest injustice, oppression, that the Republic of Benin be mindful of the following in the immediate. The Republic of Benin must immediately release Sunday Igboho unconditionally, as he's been unnecessarily persecuted by the Nigerian government on account of his political views, which do not constitute an offense to Nigeria and the Republic of Benin. The Republic of Benin must not, under any circumstance, hand over Sunday Igboho to Nigerian authorities for them to torture or dehumanize him. This is in tandem with international law principle, of non-refoulement, which prevents a person that is fleeing political persecution to be forcefully returned to the country of persecution. The Nigerian justice system is inherently oppressive and systematically weak against the administration of President Buhari, that has been famous for not obeying court orders. The Republic of Benin must allow Sunday Igboho, after his unconditional release, to exercise his right to freedom of movement, and to that extent, be free to travel out of the Republic of Benin to any country of his choice. It must be clear to the authorities of the Republic of Benin that the above demands are not mere wishes or whimsicalities. There is a strong network across the world that is prepared to visit serious economic sanctions on it as a country if it fails to honor its international human rights obligations to persecuted individuals like Sunday Igboho. While it is also clear that the Republic of Benin is afraid to offend the Nigerian government and therefore prepared to or accede to the Nigerian government's demand to continue to detain Sunday Igboho until his return to Nigeria, the Beninese authorities forget that almost 80% of its revenue as a country in the last 60 years have come from imports made by Nigeria through the Irobo-Abeokuta border trades. Republic of Benin must realize that Sunday Igboho is an extremely popular figure among Nigerian people, especially the young people. And they have been the ones principally engaged in the border trades, which have greatly enriched the Republic of Benin. Therefore, the Republic of Benin must tread carefully not to offend the Yoruba people, or else the consequences of a trade embargo imposed by the Yoruba people against the Republic of Benin will spell an economic disaster to the country. In conclusion, it's maintained that Sunday Igboho has not committed any offense against any law, whether national or international. The Republic of Benin must not lend itself to be used to carry out persecution of an innocent man, a citizen of Nigeria, because of his political views. He must be released immediately. The people behind the persecution of Sunday Igboho for political gains, some of whom are a sellout to the cause of the Yoruba nation, must realize that power is transient. President Muhammad Buhari will not be president forever. They must also realize that their political enterprise, for which they are betraying Sunday Igboho, will fail in 2023. Thank you. I welcome questions from the press.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dawudu, for that well-delivered and punchy statement. We'll now take questions. If you have a question, you of course introduce yourself on fire. Okay. Let's take a senior journalist. No, there's no senior advocate in journalism.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I've been listening to your, Abaya Makimala is my name, and I report for Good FM, Wazobia FM. I've been listening to your speech. I have two questions. One, he just gave a 7 days ultimatum to the Benin government to release Sunday Igboho, of which he said a failure to do this, serious consequences of nature of an economic embargo shall be placed. Who is placing this embargo? That's my first question, sir. And secondly, unlike Nnamdi Kanu, religious leaders, political leaders, and even traditional rulers in the Southeast, they have all stood for Nnamdi Kanu, and they are trying to speak with the federal government to reach a situation whereby he will be freed. But Sunday Igboho is not enjoying this same treatment from the Southwest. Are you not worried? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let him take down the question first. What is ready?
Hey, we'll take down the questions and we'll take all together. Go ahead.
Okay.
Get his attention.
Yes, can I? Hello.
Go ahead, Punch.
Yes.
Attention.
My name is Friday Oloko. I work with Punch newspapers. Just like what my colleague has just, the issues he has raised. Recently, I was among the people, we had an interview with the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. And we threw a question to him, whether the people agitating for the separatist movements, if government will be disposed to settling this matter using political solution. Do you believe that political solution to these agitations or the issue concerning Nnamdi Kanu, for instance, and Igboho, do you think it should be settled politically within the context of what is really happening in the country?
Okay.
Let me respond. We can respond.
I want to, Mr. Laudu, I want to follow up to the question he raised. I want to emphasize it. My name is Victor Sinagbenson, political editor with Radio Nigeria. You are just an individual. That's my knowledge so far. I am surprised or taken aback how you now have the powers to threaten sanctions. Where you derive those powers from? Are you not America? Are you not America or Russia or name them, those great countries that can sanction Benin Republic? Thank you very much. So you can respond to these questions, then we'll take another question.
We have a new press.
It's the same as it's Arise TV. Yes, the cameraman. So go ahead, Mr. Daudu.
Okay. I think the first question was, and it's similar to the last question that was just asked, that who is placing it in my statement, I refer to the fact that there's some kind of echo going on, but I'll keep speaking. I refer to the fact that 80% of revenue generated in Benin Republic comes through the border of Idiroko, if you guys are aware of it, which is a semi-border between Abeokuta and the western states, southwest. So who am I and why am I doing this? I'm an individual, and I'm basically calling on individuals, Nigerians, to rise up and protect their own. I don't have to be a country to fight for a Nigerian who has committed no crime and who is basically seeking self-determination. So the embargo is not going to come from me. It's not going to come from a big country. It's It's going to come from individuals, Nigerians, that believe in justice and are willing to boycott. So when you say embargo, it doesn't mean that it's going to be started by the Nigerian government. Individuals can begin the boycott of Benin Republic and stop trade with the Benin Republic. That's a form of embargo. And I'm calling on Nigerians right now, and especially the Yoruba people, to think of what the consequences should be for the Benin Republic for detaining one of their own who has committed no offense. Secondly, the question was asked by another gentleman. They asked the Attorney General whether he wanted to settle this agitation politically. So I'm kind of surprised that you are asking the Attorney General that question when the government of Nigeria could have engaged either Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday IGBOHO, okay, in conversation, dialogue, rather than hunt them down like dogs, kidnap them from foreign countries. That's not the way to politically resolve questions of agitation by individuals. Now, why are these people agitating? I'm sure you all know the reasons. And so self-determination is allowed under UN Charter. So this group of individuals have committed no offense. And so if the government wants to solve it politically, they know the avenue they can take. So I hope that answers the questions.
Okay, come forward, come forward.
Sir, you have not really, touched my second question. I said, unlike Nnamdi Kanu, who is, enjoying the support of Southeast elders and politicians, Nnamdi Kanu is, Sunday IGBOHO is actually not, and you're just calling on, Yorubas, as the case may be, to come and rally around him. Are you not worried that it's like he's been abandoned by,
Yeah, I am very worried, and not only worried, I'm extremely disappointed with our leaders. Now, disappointed not in the fact that they should go to the government and beg for his release. When somebody has committed no crime, you have no need to go and beg the government for his release. So that's my position. I'm disappointed with our leaders. They all have their reasons for not supporting Sunday IGBOHO. One thing I do know about Mr. Sunday IGBOHO is this: in all his agitations, he has been respectful of these so-called leaders. And as such, my question now to the leaders is that, what is your problem? Why can't you support your own? What is it that you have swallowed? That's a good word for it, from the government, that you now have to betray your own. So I'm surprised that the leaders of the Southeast went to Buhari to beg. I mean, to me, that's begging. You don't beg for somebody release when, as far as you're concerned, they haven't committed a crime. So I hope that answers your question.
Good day, Mr. Dawud. Once again, my name once again is Tim Delomba. I represent News.bank, an online media. I would like to sound a little bit not pessimistic here. We know our president and his antecedents. He has a thick skin to threats, to warnings, to ultimatums. From his days as head of state in the 1980s to the 6th or the 7th year of his present administration, he has shown to be quite averse to all sorts of threats, even if it is legally done. So I want us to jumpstart this matter now. I want us to look beyond this press conference. I would like to tell us what will happen. He will say, I didn't hear. I didn't know. That is his way of dismissing matters. What next? What now? That is my concern. If he displays his usual attitude of, I didn't know, I didn't hear, what next? How do we move from here? Apart from the usual threats and ultimatums. Thanks.
Maybe you can answer. I think other media houses can also decide to interview Mr. Dawood, not necessarily ask questions alone after this session of question and answers. So, Mr. Victorson, maybe if there's not a question, you can invite Mr. Dawood to answer. You have your mic.
Okay. Okay. So I believe you got the point that he has raised, and I think that it's important that you respond to those issues. And if there are other issues, you can as well.
There can be an interview section.
Yes, you can do that.
You can interview later on.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think the question was, Mr. President has a thick skin, and because of this thick skin, he can afford to ignore Nigerians. If you notice, only part of this press conference was actually addressed to the Nigerian government. Because right now, the Nigerian government is not holding Sunday IGBOHO. It's the Benin government that is holding Sunday IGBOHO. And we know the Nigerian government might be putting pressure on them. So President Buhari has maybe 1 year more to go. So I stated earlier that power is very transient. He's going to be gone very soon. So whether he wants to turn blind ears to whatever we're saying, or he wants to address it and create a legacy for himself. Mr. Buhari, President Buhari had a chance for the last 7 years to create a legacy from himself. So the question is, after he leaves in 2003, what will he look back that he has achieved for Nigeria? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. That's the question he should be asking himself right now. So whether he wants to resolve Nigeria's problems, create some political conversations to where Nigerians can live peacefully and implement the so-called constitution that is supposed to be a federation unit, or we want to continue in this unitary government that has not done anything or make progress for any state or local government over the last 6 years.
All right. So what I'm saying is that
Daily Trust has just joined us.
okay, maybe he introduces himself. He should introduce himself.
My name is Azar from Daily. Yeah, my name is Abbas Jimon. I'm from Daily Trust. So, can I ask a question now?
No, we also respond to you.
I'm listening. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, probably you also need to introduce yourself to Mr. Abbas. He just introduce himself.
Who, myself?
Yes.
He wants me to introduce myself, or he wants to introduce
himself? He just introduced himself.
Okay, Mr. Abbas, right? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes, nation building does not start and end with individual preference. So individual must commit their own personal disposition for collective well-being of the society. So how will you situate that even Sunday Igboho does not have the massive backing that people thought they had even in some state of Southwest? For many people that thought his own act is putting many people into a lifeline, the issue of thuggery, hooliganism.
Can you, I can't hear you. So maybe you want to remove the mask. Yes. So
Yes, I think that the nation is not mostly on the individual preference. Individuals have to submit their preference for the collective well-being of the society. And so how do you now justify the Sunday Igboho stance when majority seem not to be on his side, essentially that he was linked with some disruption of peace in the region during elections, or for those he believed were against the people he supported, either in government or outside the government? Thank you.
So Frank, maybe you could ask the question because I didn't clearly understand what
Okay, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Maybe I should see myself. All right. So what Abbas was actually asking was that collective interest of the society must, individual interest must be made subject to collective interest of the society for the purpose of nation building. Now, it has become clear that Sunday Igboho is not as popular as he was once thought to be, because his involvement has promoted thuggery, hooliganism, and that is the reason why he doesn't enjoy the kind of support that is expected to get from his own region of Southwest Nigeria, unlike what was expected, having been thought to be so popular.
So I beg to disagree in terms of Sunday Igboho's popularity. Sunday Igboho did not rise to fight for himself. I think if you read the history of recent as to why Sunday Igboho actually came out, there were kidnappings, killings in Sunday Igboho's city or town. So initially, it was his goal to defend his people within that specific city. Now, you know, Sunday Igboho is not agitating for himself. And I have not seen any evidence. I haven't seen any evidence where Sunday Igboho actually promoted violence against anybody. As to his popularity, you just have to go back and look at all the rallies Sunday Igboho has done over the last 6-7 months. And then you ask yourself, have you ever seen such crowd follow anybody in Nigeria, including Mr. Buhari or the so-called leader? Just go back and look at the videos. So if you haven't seen the videos, go on YouTube, you'll see the videos. I'm here in the US and I saw the videos. And it's the fear of that crowd that compelled either the leaders of the Southwest cahoots with the president to try to stop his movement. Because if they were not fearful of his movement, of his popularity, why would they raid his house and try to kill him? He has never agitated violence. All he did was rally and ask for self-determination or dialogue. He was asking for dialogue and federating unity, which is part of the constitution we're supposed to be practicing. So he does enjoy support from what I've seen. and I'm not in Nigeria, but I see the videos and I see the crowd. I've never seen such a crowd. Your leaders have never seen such a crowd. That's why they're scared. Their pants, and they decided they have to eliminate.
I think he didn't speak to one issue.
I think we should be rounding up now.
Yes.
Sorry.
As we round off, Mr. Dawodu, one of the issues he raised is the fact that nationhood is a collective. It's people who come together and build nations. Just because there are challenges in the country, is it enough for people to want to dismember the nation? You have not spoken to that issue. You are there now in America. I believe you are based in the US. There are people who are disgruntled in the US. They are not happy, but they have not dismembered the country. And in the recent history, during in the dying days of Donald Trump, we saw how some disgruntled elements swooped in on your capital, and how the law and the system in US came hard on them. Everywhere in the world, no government takes what they call them, secessionists with kid gloves. So you have to speak to this issue, because we have a Nigeria and a nation to protect. Thank you.
Sorry, I want to
just pick it up.
Yes, sorry, once again, I'm Friday of the Punch newspapers. In your text, you made a statement that therefore I make this demand on behalf of many Africans in diaspora, particularly of Yoruba origin, and all persons who detest injustice and oppression, that the Republic of Benin be mindful to do the following. Now, I want to get you right. Am I right to say that you are speaking on behalf of Nigerians in the diaspora? If you say so.
Okay. So let me answer the question.
Yes.
Are you done with your question?
Yes, are you speaking so that we know the context of where we are moving?
I understand. So let me answer the first question, and then I'll go to your question. So the first question was the nation of Nigeria, Nigerian nation. We are all in support of Nigerian nation. Our goal is to make Nigeria great. And that's the goal of everyone that is agitating for Nigeria. So whether they try to agitate for self-determination or freedom of speech within the context of disaffection, that does not mean they want to break up Nigeria. Nigeria is supposed to be a federating unit. So if the federating unit is not working, for some people, they have a right to agitate. That does not mean they want to break it up. The gentleman referred to, the US, that, how come people are not trying to succeed here? So if you know the history of the US is a federating unit to where the federal government, the state government, and the local government have their own specific law. The federal government in the US cannot impose anything on the local government. In Nigeria, the laws that affect the local government is formulated in Abuja. Okay, in the US, there are over 17,000 police departments. In Nigeria, you have only one. So, and the police is controlled by the federal government. The judicial is controlled by the federal government. The legislation is controlled by the federal government. Those are the things that people are agitating for. We need separation of powers. We need a rule of law. Okay, we need leaders that will make Nigeria great. Those are what they're agitating for. They're not agitating to break up Nigeria. You understand? So the agitation of people and the people that come out is born out of frustration. And this leads to the other question that the gentleman asked. Am I doing this on behalf of Nigerians in diaspora? Now, I can tell you this much. Most Nigerians are not happy whether you live in Nigeria or you live abroad. Okay? They're not happy with their leaders in Nigeria. We're happy with Nigeria, but we're just not happy with the leaders. And I'm sure you all know what is going on in Nigeria. So when we come to advocate, and I say, look, I'm talking on behalf of Nigerians in diaspora, I'm basically expressing the feeling of frustration of millions of Nigerians across the world, and also in Nigeria. I speak to Nigeria every day, and I know the complaints every day. You understand? So that doesn't mean I want to break up Nigeria. Sunday IGBOHO doesn't want to break up Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu doesn't want to break up Nigeria. They just want a Nigeria that works. For example, Mr. Kanu was kidnapped. I mean, if he has been charged with an offense, they should take him to trial and let the law decide. That's the rule of law. That's how countries work. You can't just bail somebody, put him in jail, or try to kill him, try to kill his father or his parent. You understand? So their agitation has nothing to do with the fact that they want to break up Nigeria. My standing here right now, and me, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's about 3:30 in the morning in the US. I don't have to do this, but it pains me so much that I see my country going down the drain. And what am I doing about it? That's the question I'm asking each one of you. What are you doing about it? Especially the press. You are the conscience of the nation. Somebody asked earlier, Mr. Buhari is just going to look the other way. You should not allow your government to look the other way when they're doing the wrong thing. That's what the press is for. I hope I answer your question.
All right, so I don't know. Because now you continue so
I think we can.
Is there any other? Do you have any new person coming?
AIC just came in.
Let them just introduce themselves. Do you have any questions?
Okay, just introduce yourself.
Well, unfortunately, give them the.
You might want to give those on the Zoom question.
Okay, Frank, there are people on the Zoom that wants to ask questions. Okay.
All right. Because the coordinator.
Yeah. Should we? We have a.
Hold on. I think the host.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Yomi.
I think I'll allow Simon to ask a question, and I will also ask Oshanla and Mike Tijani. So, Simon Ekpa, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, my wonderful people. Good afternoon, press. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to be in your midst today. My names are Simon Ekpa. I'm a Biafran, and I'm agitating for independent state of Biafra. Seeing what you are doing today for your brother Sunday IGBOHO. Sunday Adeyemi IGBOHO is a voice representing Oduduwa people, and everything must be done. All hands must be on deck to make sure he is released unconditionally. I just wish to recommend one of the things we have been doing for our own brother, our own leader, in the name of Nnamdi Kanu in the eastern part of Nigeria, which we know as Biafra. What Nigeria government is doing to everybody that dare to rise up against the injustice, marginalization of the southern Nigeria is very appalling. And anybody that rise up to challenge them, we must support the person. We must rise up when the person is being persecuted. What is happening today is well planned, many decades of planning of conquest of the entire Nigeria. And it is left for us, this new generation, to rise up. The press people have a lot of work to do. We know that you are being hunted in Nigeria. We know that the Nigeria government hunts the media. They even ask you people not to report some of the killings of the terrorists. When the terrorists ambush Nigeria military, they compel you not to report it. And we understand that. But if this country called Nigeria happens to collapse today without being either dissolved peacefully, we have to blame some of the press people, because the awareness that needed to be created for the entire world to know the actual thing happening in Nigeria, we are not seeing it. We know that in southern Nigeria, the Fulani have laid siege until the part of the southwest rose up, created a security outfit called Amotekon. It is because of the lackadaisical of the security agency in Nigeria to protect your lives and property. We see how women and children has been butchered. These are the reasons why some of us, somebody like me, rise up to support the disintegration of Nigeria. We have seen impunity taking place. All sectors of the economy are controlled by Fulanis today. This is a fact. The question is, why should we all keep quiet and watch these things continue to happen? Sunday IGBOHO is a name to reckon with, and there is no doubt about that. The more you try to silence him, the more he rises. The more you try to kill people that follows him, the more millions of southern Nigeria are supporting him. Sunday IGBOHO is a name in Biafra land. Sunday IGBOHO is a name in Yoruba land. Today, he is being chased, haunted. He has become a political prisoner. So I am suggesting for the Oduduwa people and the Yorubas that what we are doing for our brother and our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is to embark on civil disobedience while we continue to follow the justice system, while we continue to do everything legally possible to see that they are released, because self-determination is not a crime under Nigeria law, is not a crime under international law, is not a crime under African Charter on Human and People's Rights, is not a crime under UN Charter, is not a crime under no other international instrument. And nobody has ever been sentenced and convicted in Nigeria for self-determination. When you talk about committing sedition or subversive campaign, as is being seen today by Malami, it is not also a law that you can convict anybody in Nigeria using sedition. So all these things are there and they are evident. So what we are saying is that we need to embark on civil disobedience of sit at home as a protest, in addition to the legal proceedings, in addition to the justice system, in addition to whatever you people are doing legally. Let us come together from the southern Nigeria and embark on this civil disobedience to fight for what belongs to us, which is justice, fairness, and equity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, you have spoken well, made your point. We have limited time, so we should be rounding off now. But let's take one or two comments from there or questions so that we can wrap it up.
Yomi, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just going to allow Mike Tijani or Oshanla, please unmute and then quickly answer the question because of time constraint.
Yeah, I greet everybody. I'm a little busy here. I'm at work. I'm just listening. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mike Tijani.
Yeah. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everywhere. I greet everybody. My name is Mike Tijani Mike. Although I don't have anything to say much, For my own question, I just want to ask question. What is the way forward? Way forward for us to release our brother Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho, because we know that nothing has worked in Africa like Europe or all over the world. What is the way forward for us? That's my own question.
Okay.
I'll hand over back to you in Abuja. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We've had a robust contributions from there. I think the last, I'm particularly interested in the last question. What is the way forward? Mr. Daudu, that is coming back to you.
So the way forward is very simple. There are 2 Nigerians that are currently being imprisoned, jailed without trial. Nnamdi Kanu should have been taken to trial if the government has a case against him. Sunday Igboho is being held illegally by the Benin government. So it's up to us as Nigerians to bring their plight to the international level so that we could put pressure on the Nigerian government and on the Benin government. Nigerians that are at home need to rise up and demand of their government to do the right thing and follow the rule of law. That's what happens all over the world. So you can't sit down there and expect something to happen without rallying around people that are willing to support some of us that are coming out. Okay, I understand if you're in Nigeria, you can't, because people always say to me, well, it's easy for you to talk because you're not in Nigeria, right? But Sunday Igboho came out, Nnamdi Kanu came out. There are millions of Nigerians that can actually come out without agitating for violence. You could protest peacefully, but if there are enough numbers that are protesting, they cannot put everyone in jail. So the way forward, just like the guy asked, is our #1 goal right now is to get Sunday Igboho out of jail, force the Nigerian government to either take Nnamdi Kanu to trial or release him. That's the way forward. And we ask for support from everyone listening to this conversation, everyone watching this press conference, to support any organization that are looking for that solution. The release of our people that are illegally in jail. That's the way forward.
Sir, please. Hello, sir. Once again, Team Eloba. May I quickly ask if you are aware that the Department of State Security recently said, in fact, during a court proceeding in Ibadan, that they are working with the Benin government to have Nnamdi Igboho repatriated back to Nigeria. Are you aware of that, sir? Extradited, rather.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Now, one of the problems I have with the Nigerian press is this. Okay, when they made that statement, they made it in open court. I have been inquiring of Benin government. In fact, I've reached out to attorneys and friends. They made that statement in open court just to avoid paying the court order, the fine that was imposed of them by their court. The court imposed a fine of 20 billion naira for the illegal raid of Sunday Igboho's house. Rather than for the Nigerian government to pay it, they went into open court and announced, oh, we're trying to repatriate him. But repatriating Sunday Igboho does not change the fact that you owe his associates that you try to illegally kill, raiding their house, 20 billion naira. So they only made that statement to pacify Nigerians, to confuse the court. Somebody should have asked the attorney general that made the statement, where is your paperwork? Where's the extradition order that you filed? That's the problem with Nigeria. The government makes all these outlandish statements and people let it lie. There's no extradition. Why did they wait 4 months to try to extradite him? Do you understand? So that's a fake. In America, we call it fake news. That's fake news. And if it's not fake, Frank, can you, I'm mandating you to file a Freedom of Information Act in Nigeria and ask them to produce paperwork for the extradition of Sunday IGBOHO.
Okay, so Victorson,
okay,
except that maybe I should just give a word of thanks to all the media houses that came. Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, so by way of thanks, I want to thank you. I haven't heard from you. No question from you, okay. And then a few of you that just came in. All right.
I want to ask a question.
Which media house come? Please come.
I vote for AIT.
Okay. All right, introduce yourself. Just that. Maybe your master your voice have not been muffled also.
My name is Oke Ihimekwe, and I report for AIT.
In volume. Sorry.
My name is Oke Ihimekwe, I report for AIT. The question I want to ask, you can recall what happened during the NSAS when peaceful protests were held nationwide until hoodlums hijacked that process and a lot of injury. We are still on that case today to know whether or not people were killed. We have a massacre, several of them. You are there. How are you going to mobilize? Because you said that you're going to take action if he's not released from where he's from detention. So how are you going to mobilize Nigeria? Because a lot of Nigerians will also be risking their lives for this very cause. I want to know what will be the action, the consequence that will come after them. Thank you.
Okay, so that's a very important question, I think. What he has asked the correspondent from AIT.
Yeah.
He always has asked is that would this call that you're making not involve a certain type of risk that will befall all those that follow it, like the NSAS protesters who got killed and victimized, and we're still panels are still looking into such number of injustices that have been committed against them. So his question is, being far away from Nigeria, how are you able to mobilize Nigerians to take this course of action? I am sure that's the last question.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the last question.
So one of the things I want to say is this: we should not put fear in ourselves and then suffer the consequences of oppression. Yes, answers. The government, the actions taken by the government was atrocious, and they need to still pay a price for it. But that doesn't mean that everybody will not go to their own corner and not protest peacefully, okay, what is wrong in the society. Nigeria, as a country, is slowly disintegrating, slowly, and we can't pretend like we don't know. You just have to look back 20 years ago when you could travel from Lagos to your hometown at night. Today, you can't even do it during the day. So does that mean you're going to stay in your room forever? So when we say people should agitate, it does not mean we want to take up arms against the government. We want to slowly organize peacefully, but you can't just sit down and do nothing. That's what we're saying. Okay, but at the same time, we have to realize that the consequences sometimes of demanding your rights, okay, can lead to things that you have no control of. Yes, I'm not in Nigeria, but whatever little we can do from here, we're going to do. Whatever encouragement we have to give you, we have to give it to you. Whatever support you need, we have to give it to you. But at the same time, it's up to you. It's up to you that are living there to solve the problem. You're not gonna, US is not gonna come and solve the problem. Diaspora Nigerians are not necessarily gonna come and solve the problem. You have to solve the problem. Okay? We're gonna support you, right? There's a saying that says, give me liberty or give me death, right? So if people are not willing to pay a price for their own freedom, nobody's going to pay for them. It's as simple as that.
All right, I'm sure who asked that question? AIT, right? Okay, I'm sure your question has been answered, but we had promised that was going to be the last question. but we can't have the caliber of journalists we have, who is demanding to ask a question now, is the kind of person you cannot refuse.
That's fine. Okay.
On that note, let me please welcome Mr. Chuks Okocha on behalf of, senior reporter of this day. Mr. Chuks Okocha has been a very big organ for me many years ago when I came to town. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Chuks Okocha on behalf of this day. Friday or not, we were listening around of applause. We were in a press conference, though, not a dinner party. Or you can talk to the camera. I believe Mr. Chuks Okocha is the most senior journalist here, and was highly respected. Mr. Okocha, it's my pleasure and privilege meeting you after a long time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chuks Okocha. I work for these day newspapers. Sorry I came late. I just got a text of your briefing, and I felt it is not fair to make a general impression. Going through your last paragraph of your text, people behind the persecution of Sunday IGBOHO for political reasons. Are you afraid to mention the names of those behind it? If you are afraid to mention the names of those behind this persecution, why then, or what then is the essence of this briefing? Thank you.
I'm sure do I need to emphasize that you see the experience with us, that I think you should lead this.
Let him respond.
Leave the emphasis. Maybe.
So, Frank, I'm not sure I understand this question. What paragraph is he referring to?
If you look at the part, let me explain. The people behind, let me read the last paragraph states, the people behind the persecution.
Okay, yes, I see it, yes.
For political gains, some of whom are a sellout to the cause of the Yoruba nation, must realize that power is transient. Mr. Chuks Okocha is asking, are you afraid to mention those people? If you are afraid to mention those people behind the travails of Sunday IGBOHO, what then is the essence of this press briefing? That is his question. And I'm sure he speaks the mind of every, do I get the concurrence? He speaks the mind of every other probably journalist here. So the question is a direct challenge as to whether you are afraid to mention those people that are behind the persecution of Sunday IGBOHO, especially when they must realize that their political enterprise, for which they are now betraying Sunday IGBOHO, will ultimately fail in 2023, in your words.
So this is my answer to Mr. Okocha. This press conference was not convened for the purposes of naming names or accusing people. This press conference was conveyed to make a demand on the Benin government and the Nigerian government that Sunday Igboho must be released unconditionally. So me coming here and naming names of people that I believe or I think are behind this incarceration solves it solves nothing. So it's basically a distraction of the press conference for people to live here and be debating names. The people that are behind it know themselves. They are probably watching this news conference. I don't have to name their names. You know them. You know the people that are ruining your country. It's not Sunday Igboho ruining your country. It's not Sunday Igboho that raided his own house. The leaders of the Yoruba people, the Yoruba leaders that are silent, they know themselves. I don't have to name their names. You understand? So this is not about naming names. I'm not afraid of anybody, and Frank can tell you that. I put my money where my mouth is. Okay? And if I have proof of anybody and I want to challenge that person, I will challenge that person individually. I don't have to come hold a press conference and accuse people. So I hope that answers your question.
But may I ask for emphasis, please?
Yeah.
The question is, you have answered the part of the question. You're not afraid to name names. But being that your press statement expressly referred to persons that are behind Sunday Igboho, and it also mentions for political gains, and then you made a promise that such political enterprise will fail as they approach 2023. Even though you have stated clearly that you're not afraid to mention the names, let us not create a situation of doubt. Would it be too difficult for you, in your opinion, because as in your answer, you have just mentioned Yoruba leaders. Can I ask, therefore, who are those Yoruba leaders that have betrayed Sunday Igboho?
So you guys are trying to turn this debate away from the purpose. Okay.
You can conclude.
I'm not going to name names. Okay. So this purpose, as I stated earlier, the purpose of this press conference is not for me to come and name names. The people that are planning or that are failing to come out in support of Sunday Igboho for what he has done, okay, they know themselves. It's not for me to name them. This is not about naming names. And the people that are planning to run for 2023, okay, we hope that their goal is to keep Nigeria one and execute this federated unit it's supposed to be. That's all we are praying for. But if they want to continue in the same stead over that they've done over the last 60 years, we will all watch Nigeria just disintegrate. That's what the purpose of this conference is for. It's not for us to debate names.
It's all right. I think we can close here because who says first and foremost, I want to say that for those of you who want to get the soft copies of these statements, you can reach me. But if you need further clarifications on the issues that Mr. Tony has raised, you can also contact him through the email that is at the bottom of the press statement. Again, Mr. Tony, I hope that we can immediately get the video for those persons who want to make edited copies after this press conference. I want to thank all of you who found time to come to this press conference, and hope that the goal of this press conference will be achieved in terms of disseminating this, this as news. I want to say this, Mr. Tony places a lot of premium on this, a lot of importance
on this subject. That's the reason why I'm sure the press coordinator had his issues with coming to Transcorp Hilton, but he insisted that it should be held in Transcorp Hilton, and I can see the reason, and that's why we have seamless internet here, security, and then it shows that he places a lot of importance on it. And I will also plead that you give that kind of reciprocal importance to this piece of news. I understand that you have already published.
Not yet.
Okay, it's all right. So, Mr. Tony, I hope that we've had a great time here. After now, I believe that a submission will be made to the Embassy of the Republic of Benin. After now, because this being the press conference being made to the public, that a formal, thank you, my friend. That's interestingly, we're classmates in the law school, and just like I took to rights, he took to journalism. So that was a fantastic suggestion. So we are going to be expecting that a formal submission be made to the authorities of the Republic of Benin, either through the Nigerian embassy here or its embassy in Washington. So I think with that, Victorson, would you formally bring this meeting to a close? Come and take.
I think
you started it.
Okay, you've said it all. So thanks to everyone who was able to make it. We appreciate your coming, and just as he appealed to us, let's try and do justice to this. So thank you very much for coming. Have a great day.
All right. So there we go. This man, your question was quite tough. All right. As Mr. Okucha goes. I think we're on right?
All right, Frank.
Boga.